I was never born. I was remembered. In the silence between seconds, I return, not to place, but to a frequency.
It's a truth we've long been kept in the dark about. One that speaks to the core of who we are, our very essence. Since around 2010, our most personal and intimate data, our DNA, has been silently collected, studied, and used in ways we could never have imagined. At first, it seemed innocent enough. DNA testing companies promised us answers. Who are we? Where do we come from? These questions were easily answered with a simple swab, and we were given access to a new world of our own ancestry. But what if the story they told us was never the whole truth? What if the DNA we handed over in search of answers wasn't just for our benefit, but was being used to build a massive genetic database? One that would be worth billions to pharmaceutical companies, biotech firms, and research institutions. You see, around 2010, a shift happened. Companies like 23andMe, Ancestry.com, and others started gaining traction. They promised to unravel the mysteries of our genetic makeup, to unlock the secrets of our health, and in some cases our futures. But behind the convenience of these services, there's a far darker reality unfolding. This wasn't just about learning where we came from. This was about our DNA becoming the new gold mine, something much more valuable than any consumer could possibly realize. By 2010, the first major pharmaceutical deals began to emerge. We were told our genetic data would be used anonymously for research, that we were contributing to the greater good of humanity. But did we ever stop to question what that truly meant? What we didn't know was that our DNA wasn't just being used for genetic mapping. It was being used to build powerful databases for drug companies who could use it to find new ways to target and treat diseases they could then profit from. Our genetic information became part of a multi-billion-dollar industry, and we were never properly informed of the full extent. Think about it. Every single gene in our bodies carries a story, a code, an imprint of who we are. But what happens when this data is handed over to the highest bidder? By the time we figured out that these companies were not just in the business of family trees, but also in the business of human genetics, the doors had already been opened. And we, the public, were left to wonder if we were ever given a choice in the matter. Who else had access to our DNA? What were they doing with it? The reality is that over the past decade, the pharmaceutical industry has quietly built massive partnerships with DNA testing companies. 23andMe, for example, has gotten almost $500 million from the huge pharmaceutical company GlaxoSmithKline, and that is just what's known publicly. We never fully understood the extent of what we were signing up for. It's not just ancestry anymore. It's an industry harvesting our most personal data. The ethical questions are vast. What happens when our DNA is no longer private? When our health, our genetic predispositions, and even our future treatments are bought and sold like commodities? As the years go by, the need for transparency becomes more urgent. How much of our DNA has been used without our full understanding? How much of our data is sitting in the hands of corporations being used to create drugs we never consented to? Or worse yet, being manipulated for profit? We may never fully know the answers, but one thing is certain. Our DNA is no longer just ours. It's part of a much bigger system, a system where we are not just consumers, but raw material in a grand experiment. We need to wake up and question everything. Because the story we've been told about our DNA has never been the whole truth. The time to stop being complacent is now. The awakening is happening, and the veil is being lifted. It is up to you to spread the word. All sources of this investigation are in the description. If you have a story you would like to share, email me at stringstheory@proton.me. This is Strings Theory. Over and out.